welcome to another bonus episode of Kill James Bond. I'm November Kelly, joined as always by my friends Abigail Thorne and Devon.
Hello!
How you doing, folks? What's up, Mordheads? I'm not doing it again.
It's Maud time because...
Welcome to this Mordio medium.
Yeah, please join us in the Mordatorium. Take your seats.
Keep on Morden in the free world, folks. It was my bonus pick, and we'd just finished our little, triplet go on... Not religion, let's say, Catholicism, largely, right?
Yeah, sure.
Not religion in the abstract, but Catholicism. And I was like, well, I need to pick a bonus episode. I made a lot of hay about it being an important bonus episode, but ultimately I chose to completely disregard anything that anyone would come up with, and I went with Saint Maud, which is a movie that I'm excited to talk about for two main reasons. Number one, because I'm really enjoying getting to dig into religion, and this time talk about some British Protestant shit. And also, I really like the sort of Mulder and Scully type dynamic that Abby and November have fallen into over the course of these episodes.
Yeah. We're going to figure out whether God is real or not through the medium of comedy podcasts.
We will get to the bottom of it. That's our promise to you.
November's coming to me like, ever heard of the God alien? And I'm like, I don't think that's a real thing.
Swamp gas, ridiculous. It's hallucinations. Yeah, which we will get to. And Dev, I'm so glad you picked this because I really enjoyed isn't the right words, right? But I had a really good, really interesting time with this one.
Listeners may know that this is Rose Glass's first film,
right? Glass, baby.
Rose, Love Lies Bleeding Glass.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whereas in this case, it's more like Love Kneels Praying. And it's a really uncomfortable film. It is a kind of religious psychological horror. And here's the thing that you need to know about me. And I put this out into the world in advance of horror season whenever we do that. I am the scaredest, smallest baby in the world, right? So because I knew that this was a horror, I watched this on one of the first sunny days of the year. And I watched this in my living room, which was flooded with sunlight. Specifically, it has a skylight in it, really awkwardly placed for the TV. I know, shoot me in the head, I know. But the point is, I was watching this, and I've been trying to make Adverse Conditions Movie Club a thing for about a year and a half now, and no one gets it. That's fine. But in this case, it really was because I could not see. So I apologize in advance. I could have watched it in the dark, but I was too scared. So what I watched instead was about a tenth of the light of this movie and then a lot of sunlight.
And just to help the listener, you can go ahead and watch this in the dark because it doesn't do any jump scares right up until the second last scene. Which we will get to, but you can watch it in the dark largely without getting too freaked out.
You kind of need to, because much like Silence, it's a movie that relies on a lot of darkness and kind of sharp contrasts. Really a hallmark when you're kind of dealing with religion, I guess, is we need to have completely black background.
What is religion but the opiate of the masses? You know, the poverty stricken people always reach out to religion. What is the most deprived and evil place in the entire world? It's a British seaside town in the off season.
That's right.
That's right. Dismal environment. You need to find God to survive.
Yeah. The last place you're gonna find him.
What this reminds me of in some ways is Ulrich Seidel's Rimini, which is not a textually related movie, but is set in specifically an Italian beachside town in the off season. Sounds quite nice, you think? It's not. It's shit. And so this is set in, I don't even want to name seaside towns, but one of them, a Welsh one, we are led to believe.
Yes.
It's like a shit version of Brighton. It's like Brighton if it was straight, which is cursed vibes.
Like Claxon or something.
Yeah.
I can't take a swing at what the Welsh one is. I don't know.
Yeah. And so we begin
Barry,
in this,
maybe. You know,
this horrible town.
In fact, we do not. We begin with the BFI logo, the logo of the British Film Institute, which is how you know that the director is a white person.
just to certify, back in the day, right? In the 1920s and stuff, union clothing labels used to say white made. to indicate like quality, because unions used to be racially like segregated, and it was like we're getting undercut by like Chinese labor or whatever, so this is like made by white people in the USA. BFI adopting the same approach, I guess. But
they value diverse voices, not enough to like fund their project, but you know, you can apply.
Well, hold on a minute. This director is a woman.
Yeah, that's diverse.
Does that count for nothing to you people?
That's diverse. That's a diverse. That's political.
And of course, because this is Britain, right, we're not allowed to do the like 19 different European Union Film Fund things anymore. So what we have to do is, this was administered, like the funds came from the National Lottery, right?
Yeah.
So thank you, gambling addicts. Your ruin paid for us to see Saint Maud.
Thank you very much.
I'm sure a grateful nation appreciates that.
Service.
Does anyone think that there's something maybe unethical about the way in which we make movies, you know, in this country, in any country?
I'm sure that's fine.
There's something dark and evil at the heart of it, and we'll get to it eventually. We'll pick away at
this
it.
Thing about film criticism always needing to kind of reify the film as like a good object, but like
we open not in shithole on sea, but we open with a nurse who has bloodied hands. She's sitting in a corner, seemingly traumatized by something. She watches a beetle crawl across the ceiling. And the first thing we hear is the noise that this movie is going to hit you with about 5 million times, listeners, because it goes.
Yeah,
it's got an obtrusive soundtrack, right? Because the thing is, they changed. A memo went out at some point in about 2020 for how horror movies have to sound, and they changed it from the previous obtrusive horror sound, which was you hold these steel cables taut while I slide these violins down them.
Yes.
They changed that to noise your hard drive makes when it's about to die times a billion, and so you just get a lot of
I blame Hans Zimmer for this. I think this is Inception.
It's definitely downwind of Inception.
Yeah.
Hans Zimmer, transphobic man, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, afraid so. I'm afraid so.
Hans Zimmer? I don't know.
Yeah.
How bad?
Yeah, how bad are we talking here? Scale of 10, 1 to 10.
So if I remember right, one of his like trans like ex-employees kind of blew the whistle on him being like kind of a shit in the workplace. Yeah, depressing.
Cancelled.
But, you know. Cancelled. But so
I'll get to the bottom of this.
We then cut forward to her in her shitty apartment, this same nurse.
I just googled Hans Zimmer trans and it's only showing me Transformers. Fuck. He's gotten out ahead of it.
Damn, the perfect cover. He's SEO proofed.
Smart.
She's packing for work, but she's like packing a suitcase, but she's also praying, and this is like intercut. And she's praying
eating
in her
soup.
Head. Yes, because I'll lead into this as a big bubbling thing of like horrible looking tomato soup.
Oh, is it blood? No, it's soup.
Yeah, it just feels like evil red liquid bubbling, and then it's tomato soup, which really fun, really good.
You get your tomato soup. She like pours it out. She like makes the sign of the cross before she eats, so you know that there's there's weird shit going on here.
She's fucking serious about it.
She's a god botherer. Yeah,
exactly.
She is.
And she says in her internal monologue, "Dear God, watch over me as I begin this next posting. Think I'll have to get up at about 6 tomorrow."
Yeah.
It's so conversational.
Yeah, it's like perfunctory, right? It's like
God of what time you're getting up. Presumably, it knows.
Well, I think it's doing two things, right? I think transposing prayer with like the rest of anyone else's like secular internal monologue, is going to make it sound weird, but it's also sort of perfunctory. It's like talking to a subordinate, right? And
it is.
It reminds me, to some extent, of, we know that maybe the evangelicals think that they can kind of do magic. Right?
Yes.
I remember watching Jesus Camp, this documentary about like evangelical like
Jesus Camp. I sure hope he is.
Good news when we get to the Last Temptation of Christ. It started, but like it's about like indoctrination of kids by evangelicals.
Just
and
pile it like I want that twig obliterated.
there was this
you
one
want
guy
obliterated, folks. Barabbas, it's gone.
Who was doing what I've come to think of as like command prayer, right? Where you do the thing that you want first, and then you slap on some Jesus at the end. So it was trying to fix a broken air conditioner, and the guy's like, "I command this air conditioner to work, in Jesus' name," right?
Right.
And it reminded me of this, of like, you're kind of like, all right, God, fucking here's the deal. I gotta do this shit for work. You're gonna like look out for me and do the God stuff.
Back, you slavering dogs. I shan't let you access any more of this podcast unless you head on over to patreon.com/killjamesbond and cross my palm with at least £5 a month of silver.